which of the siblings do you feel was affected most by Fred not being there?
Mike. I mean, he seemed to be the one. The whole trio. I mean, I've talked to Jan. Of course, let me kind of finish in the sibling rank because there become others. There's Janice and there's Karen. Janice and Karen are Fred's children by Bernice, you see. And so you just don't know in terms of, the sibling thing. Every family in its trio of siblings has deep, dark secrets that just seem to, filter in the unknown. So, but the one that was affected most by it seemed to me to be that it would be Mike and Karen. They seem to be the more reactionary to it. Janice is really very, I don't know, kind of calm and settled. So her reaction doesn't seem to be, or maybe I was. I don't know. I at least have talked about it and chronicled the fact that it occurred. It was very interesting at a very critical time in my life. We had a very heart-to-heart conversation.
You and
Fred.
Okay.
And he gave me a bit of advice, and I told him I could never do that because that's what you did. And I shared with him what I thought had been that impact. That has been such a strong motivation in terms of my own, and yet, I think even in that possibly I have failed because it created such an expectation.
You're talking about Quincy?
Yeah, that when that expectation is not, he's truly suffering. He absolutely. Of course, I don't know as to what is causing that, but I think it is somewhat the limited identification. But I don't know. I don't know. But it might just be mentally a little aloof.
Well,
What did I have to walk?
like
No,
3
you
steps.
stand up and walk 2 steps.
Why don't I just stand up so
Okay, then you don't even have to walk. Just stand and.
Well, no, you can just stay there then.
Yeah.
Peter, Peter doesn't have to take me all. Peter, you can just kind of do a
right
little
down
switcheroo.
Or maybe Peter and Dad can come get
supposed
you.
to do this.
He'll come over and give him a respectful bow. He'll grab her and then he'll take her. Boom.
Just do a brisk handshake.
However, as you will.
Okay, well,
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what you said, but
oh yeah, you can come in at 1 and sit there. You don't have to be there an hour early. But I'm just saying, you said early. We're not going to have you process. You just be there.
No. I want to be here.
I know that's what I'm saying. We're not going to have you process.
If Daddy walks here to here, then I stand and
Do a little hey,
or else I can be here standing all while I'm leaning on his head.
oh, that's okay. That's good. That's good. I like that. You could do that. You could stand there.
But I am not going to be moving.
Got it. Did you guys get that?
you have to get the international. Some of this is carpenter style, Barabio.
Where you need to be sitting right here next to me.
This is just
Just in case.
Just in case the Leaning Tower.
Give me one extra.
An extra program. Monica, do we need to fold tonight?
No, one of the program committee has already voted. Are you still gonna be coming down now?
coming.
About to limit folks?
Stop and do what?
Stop it. And going over to him. Fred.
Hug him.
Fred is. Keep music keep playing. Daddy. Goes to daddy. Gives a hug. Kiss. Then peaches. Then, no, you're out of it at this point. Once you give her to daddy, then you step back.
Oh, so you never.
She goes to daddy. Give daddy a hug and
Maybe-
kiss. Then Peter comes and takes her from here and goes to there.
Oh, shit.
When you ask that question, which, I'd have to just, I can only answer it in the observation that I have of those who have articulated, and then I could answer it in the reaction as it relates to myself. But I think, like I say, that seeing the combination of personalities that the two of us seem to possess, that
Who's the two of us?
Fred and me,
Okay.
that it was okay, but you never know. You never know. You never know. I mean, my mother was always totally attentive, so you just don't know. I don't have any ill will in relations to the absence. I don't think that I turned out bad to which I would be critical of any part of my maturity process, but you don't know.
Senator Phil Curls. In sportswear by Liz Claiborne. In a dress suit by Burberry. This name is synonymous with quality, superb, and enduring style. The suit is gray and highlighted by pink, cream, and teal pinstripes. The shirt pale pink, highlighted by teal and gray pinstripes. The tie, pale pink paisley. Shoes are black. Donnie McGee is wearing a Kent LTD off-white spring coat with three-quarter length sleeves.
A wonderful, again, fur on the inside, a very lightweight coat. It's very soft glove leather with a New Zealand opossum lining, which is very, very soft, very lightweight, very durable and warm. What a wonderful look for the man that wants a coat that will take him anywhere.
You talk about your relationship with Darwin. Now, you describe Mike as volatile but dapper Dan. And
Mr. Promoter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really, and I mean, in these later years, I think that, see, Millicent, she had Steve at 15 and Steph at 16, and then she got married when she was 16, I think. So she went to Hogan for 1 year, and she went to Lincoln for 1 year, and then she dropped out of school. And so that's why I'm saying, in terms of how strong she was for moving from where she was, a 16-year-old with 2 children, to a near college graduate, and really just moving up in not only school but her professional rank. That's Mike, on the other hand, he quit school in 1958 when he was a junior in high school, so that he went into the military, as not as a college graduate, got his GED within the military. He then came out here to California. Of course, this is just going through his educational situation, and pursued school because he was always a worker and a promoter. I mean, early time, he was working at O'Neill Drugstore when he was 12 years old behind the fountain. And he basically has had a job, he was a hustler. I mean, and we are just in later life, just like we were in earlier life. He was a hustler, a promoter, and he's really much smarter than I ever thought he was. I mean, our most recent working together demonstrated that he's very, very smart. Darwin and I, we are closest in one aspect, but, not in the other. I mean, in terms of social engagement, Mike and I are probably closer in mindset than is Darwin. I mean,
He's on! Tell he's on!
Why are we running to see television?
We gotta watch it, dude.
I don't have the slightest idea.
Hey, what's up?
Turn it up! Where's my oh, here it is.
Thing out. You can take the thing out. Trust me.
It was a group effort. Everybody's we raised the stakes this year.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go, guys. You gotta keep the family thing going. You guys are just.
You get your.
Now, what's the deal?
Thanks, Mom.
We'll have to go someplace here and hopefully they can take it off.
Otherwise, you cannot wear it. Unless you can put like a freedom button like here.
This is from LA that I'm wearing this Christmas Day. And it's got an exploding.
It's not ink. It's not exploding ink.
How do you know?
Because they label it. Trust me. Because they label it.
This is from LA.
The label. It says it has warning ink. Don't mess with it.
That's from us.
And it blew up all over my. Take the pants off. Take the pants off.
That is something we feel very strongly about, and I think you should read that book. I know you're a reading person. It is a very good book that I think you would get.
Have you read it too?
Yeah.
Is it working?
Can't you tell?
Barry Sears.
Is that one dude?
Yeah, that's that one dude.
Oh, God damn.
No, and they talk a lot about diabetics in the book.
Oh, I'll read it. This
Yeah.
is
I understand more about diabetes from reading that book than just. Do you remember what your favorite Christmas gift was, Daddy?
No.
At any point in your life? Joshua.
That's what I actually kind of like, things like that. Material things. I like this. I wouldn't know what to do with something like a St. John suit.
No, me neither.
I mean, that's something that is good for women, I guess. They need it.
Bye-bye.
Good job, Philip. What?
What?
Way to represent.
Knock something over.
No, he got us a little theft tag still on here.
Thanks, Mom.
When you see that family picture that has the four of us, you absolutely see not only the picture, but really the personality of the people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look sort of droopy. Darwin looks just like a little happy, little chirpy little fuzzball. Mike looks, his character, and Millicent is standing there the biggest and therefore the strongest. I mean, that's the image that's in that picture. Darwin is or comes over to me very much like he appears in the picture. I mean, he's the nicest person. I mean, just genuinely, just a nice person. You know, just I mean that, and he just reminds you of somebody that you have to defend. You I don't say have to take care of, but he just is. He comes over in the little brother perspective, and Mike comes over in the big brother perspective. So, I mean, each sort of are in that role. But Darwin just comes over as, you know, who you want to play games with and take care of or defend.
Yeah, but you saying you got it. What you gonna do with it?
Monica came up and said, ah!
We both said I got it. Oh, yes, sir. Shut up. Come on,
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Really?
No.
I thought the net, if you came over, you got another.
That's in tennis.
10-7. It is 10-7, right?
10-7, right? Oh! Now you gonna hit it? What happened? I don't know. Did it come over?
No, it stayed on your side.
Okay, I don't know.
10-8.
10-8. Got it? Good one.
Take a shot, take a shot. Yeah, 10.
Y'all need to start hitting like this and try. I tell you.
That's illegal the way you telling them to hit.
No, it ain't.
It is.
You can slap it.
You cannot. You cannot, Darwin.
But we're standing.
All right. Get up. 10-10. Wait it out, Sean.
What about Janice and Karen came along at a point later in your life? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
Janice, actually, we kind of knew them, or we knew that they were there, because, as I say, Mike and Millicent would from time to time go and stay with them when they lived on Chestnut. But Darwin and I did not ever really stay over there, so we knew they was there. But one day when I was 16 years old, because when I was 16, I had a car, which was, I don't say it was rare in them days. But anyhow, I was driving down the street, and I was coming down Chestnut in this car, and Janice was sitting on the steps, and I stopped, and I said, "There's my sister." And I was talking to somebody, and I got out, and we started talking, and really, she and I sort of escalated the inter-family relationship. I mean, she's a very easygoing, not complicated, nice person.